to CV Tales channel. Thank you for watching and listening to CV Tales. You are the best.
As Cheta and Amara ruled the kingdom together, their love became the example for everyone to follow. The people admired the way they cared for each other and for the kingdom. Cheta, though once tested by the maidens who sought his wealth, now led with compassion and wisdom, guided by the true love he had found. Amara, the once orphaned girl, became a beloved queen. She never forgot where she came from, and she treated everyone with kindness, no matter how rich or poor. She opened her heart to those in need, especially the orphans of the kingdom, giving them food, shelter, and love. One day, Amara and Cheta were walking through the royal gardens, hand in hand. Cheta, now walking strong and tall, looked at his wife with deep gratitude. "Amara, you changed my life," he said softly. "You showed me what it means to be loved, not for riches or power, but for who I truly am." Amara smiled. "And you showed me that love is about giving, not just receiving," she replied. "Together we can make this kingdom a place where everyone feels that kind of love." They decided to host a great feast in the palace, inviting not just the nobles and wealthy but also the common people, the orphans and the poorest of the kingdom. It was a celebration of love and unity, a reminder the kingdom belonged to everyone, not just those with riches. On the day of the feast, the palace was filled with laughter, music, and the smell of delicious food. People from all walks of life sat together, sharing stories and joy. Cheta and Amara sat at the center, watching the people with smiles on their faces. As the night went on, an elderly woman approached Cheta. She had once been one of the maidens who ignored him when he was in the wheelchair. With tears in her eyes, she bowed before him. "Your Majesty," she began, "I was one of those who did not see your heart when I had the chance. I chased after riches, and I am ashamed. But now I see that true treasure is love and kindness. You and Queen Amara have taught us all a great lesson. Please forgive me." Cheta gently lifted the woman's hand. "There is nothing to forgive," he said kindly. "We all learn our lessons in different ways. The most important thing is that you have learned and changed." The woman smiled through her tears, feeling the weight of her regret lift. She returned to the feast filled with a new sense of peace. As the night came to an end, Cheta stood before the crowd and spoke. "My dear people," he said, his voice strong and full of warmth, "this kingdom is not just mine, it is ours. Together we will build a place where love and kindness rule. It does not matter how much gold you have or how fine your clothes are. What matters is how we treat one another. Let us always remember that the greatest treasure is the love we share." The crowd erupted into cheers, and Amara stood by his side, her heart full of pride and love for her husband. Love, kindness, and compassion are the true treasures in life. It is not riches or power that make us great, but how we care for others. The feast represents unity, where everyone is equal regardless of their status. The elderly woman symbolizes the chance for people to change and grow, even after making mistakes. Cheta and Amara's love story lived on in the hearts of the people, a timeless reminder that the heart is the most valuable treasure of all. And their kingdom thrived, full of peace, joy, and the kind of love that could be felt in every corner of the land. As time passed, the kingdom flourished under the wise and kind rule of Cheta and Amara. The people were happier than ever. and the land prospered with peace and plenty. But even as everything seemed perfect, a great challenge was about to come to their peaceful kingdom. One evening, as the sun set over the hills, a messenger arrived at the palace, out of breath and with a look of fear on his face. He bowed deeply before Cheta and Amara and said, "Your Majesties, there is trouble in the land. A powerful and greedy king from a faraway kingdom is marching towards us with his army. He seeks to take our land and treasures by force." The news spread quickly, and the people of the kingdom began to worry. Many had heard of this wicked king, who was known for conquering peaceful lands and taking everything for himself. The people feared for their homes, their families, and their peaceful way of life. Cheta and Amara gathered their advisors to discuss what should be done. Some of the advisors urged Cheta to prepare for war, to build an army to defend the kingdom. But Cheta and Amara knew that war would bring suffering to their people, and they wanted to avoid that at all costs. "We must find a way to stop this without fighting," Amara said softly, looking at her husband. "Violence will only hurt the people, and that is not the way of love and kindness." Cheta nodded in agreement. "But how? This king is known for his cruelty. He will not listen to reason easily." Amara thought for a moment, then said, "What if we show him that our kingdom's greatest treasure is not our gold, but our people and our way of life? Perhaps we can open his heart, just as we have opened the hearts of those in our own kingdom." Cheta trusted Amara's wisdom, so they decided on a bold plan. They would meet the invading king not with swords and shields, but with a message of peace. Cheta and Amara would go to the enemy's camp themselves, without an army, and try to reason with the king.